William Hill sponsors IFL TV.
I'm the man to beat Daniel Dubois. We're going to sleep.
UMAR, AHMED, IFL TV, MTK Global. We're in Leeds. We're 3 days out from a huge fight night. Warrington Galahad, joined by Francis Warren. The big man's gone to Vegas. I'm all right, thank you. The big man's gone to Vegas, obviously.
Big man's in Vegas, yeah. And Tyson.
We saw. Did you see the picture of the Versace robe?
It looks all right, didn't they?
Pulled it off.
He did pull it off, actually. I'm going to have to get him one for Christmas.
It got pretty intense in that press, as we expected, especially with Dominic Ingle. What are your feelings going into this fight in terms of a Josh Warrington perspective?
It's brilliant. There's not. I don't think there's no signs there that he's feeling the pressure or he's at all worried. Josh is he's a very, very strong man, and you see the resilience of the man coming through. Walking out in front of 25,000 people at Ellen Road when you're the underdog and doing what he did to Lee Selby, that's a testament to the man, and that's what he's all about. And then again, not being fazed by fighting a legend in Carl Frampton. Nobody expected, well, I say nobody, it wasn't widely expected that Josh could do what he did against those two guys, and he's done it. You can't. There's no change in history. He's done that, and it's not about flukes or luck or other people having a bad night or not being right on the night. He did it. He went out and did that, and he put the graft in, and he won a world title against a very, very, very good seasoned world champion in Lee Selby, and then he went and defended it against Carl Frampton, and now it's on to we're back here in Leeds, and it's on to his mandatory challenger who has earned the right to be there. So it's not as if he's handpicked Kid Galahad, and it's not as if Kid Galahad doesn't deserve to be there, because he went to the States, boxed Tucker Clary, boxed his head off, to be honest. He did very, very well, which I wasn't surprised about. And Kid Galahad deserves this, deserves his shot, and I'm sure he'll be trying to seize it with both hands. But that man to my right at the press conference, Josh Warrington, there is no beating this guy at the moment. He is just the utmost professional. He's solid. He's passionate about it. He's got a great team around him. And you got a stadium full of Leeds fans on Saturday night that will, if he needs it, not that I don't think he will, but it will give him that extra lift. And the needle that these guys have got between each other, and they go back to the amateurs, Kid Galahad's his mandatory challenger. Just so happens his mandatory challenger happens to live down the road. Just so happens that his mandatory challenger, Josh, beat him twice on points in the amateurs. And it just so happens they really don't like each other. I think Josh said he used to have a lot of respect for him. But over the years, it's just gone away, and you can see there's no respect there for each other at all. And I think that goes down into the training camps, the trainers as well. I think, not necessarily Sean, but I don't think Dominic's got much respect for Josh Warrington. He talks about he only beat an 80% Lee Selby and an 80% Carl Frampton. I mean, that's crap. Talking about that Lee Selby and Carl Frampton go out partying in between fights. I'm sure Carl Frampton and Lee Selby have got something to say about that. It's totally disrespectful, not just to those two guys, but to Josh as well. He deserves every bit of credit and every bit of he's just done it. He's been there, he's done it, and he deserves it.
Josh and Sean believe that Kid Galahad shouldn't even be getting this opportunity, obviously because of that failed test. That's been sort of widely talked about going into this fight. What's your take on it?
He's in his mandatory position, and he's since he's come back, he's climbed his way up the rankings, and that's all you can say about it. There are rules and regulations in place for a reason, and as far as the governing bodies are concerned, they've been adhered to, and everyone's under the same rules, and that's where it is. It's in black and white. That's what it is.
Fair enough. Now we know you have good relations with Top Rank and ESPN. If Josh were to come through Saturday night and still be victorious and hold that IBF crown, is the plan to just go in a straight unification with Valdez?
Yeah, obviously, plans are plans. We'd love to do the unification fights, and they're the ones that Josh wants. But he's got to get over this on Saturday night first. and there can be no slip-ups, no mistakes, and no overlooking anybody. And I'm not going to sit here and talk about things that are happening on Sunday, let alone on Saturday, because Kid Galahad poses a threat, and it's disrespectful to do so. Do we want unifications for Josh in the future? Of course we do, but this is more important than any unification fight on Saturday, because it doesn't. If it goes wrong on Saturday, there's nothing to unify.
Francis, moving on to Vegas, Fury Schwartz.
Yeah,
been a little
he's
bit
enjoying himself over there.
He is. He's loving
he
it.
looks like the happiest man in the world.
I mean, Tyson Fury and Las Vegas, I think they go together. In terms of the pay-per-view in the UK, it is getting a bit of stick. How comes? I mean, it's great that Warrington Galahad's on normal BT, but how come you didn't do a joint pay-per-view?
Because Tyson Fury's a pay-per-view fighter. We wanted to give the fans, as much access to Josh as possible, and it's a great BT Sport fight night. The undercards are fantastic. We've got Barrett and Woodstock, and Metcalf and Wellborn, and it's a great fight night. And if you want to watch the number one heavyweight on the planet, it's pay-per-view, and that's just the nature of the business. He's the number one heavyweight by the rated by the Ring magazine. He's the lineal heavyweight champion in the world. He's the most, getting up there with one of the most popular sports figures on the planet, and that's just the way it is.
Can you perhaps see why people might criticise the pay-per-view in terms of Tom Schwartz isn't perhaps the?
No, because you get Tyson Fury for it.
Okay. As you said, he's number one heavyweight in the world. Ring magazine have just recognised that. Yeah, just your take on that, reaction to that.
Well, like to say it's overdue, but if one guy's got three of the world titles, then and he's defended them, then obviously you'd argue that he deserves to be there. But I don't agree with that. I think Tyson, as soon as that, especially after that fight with Deontay Wilder, should have been straight back in at number one with the Ring magazine. However, we've obviously got a point scoring process, and Tyson is now well and truly the man, in the ratings as well as everybody in everybody's eyes, which in our eyes has always been that.
Of course, there's a massive shake-up in the heavyweight division a couple of weeks ago, events in New York. Frank Warren believes that there was something sort of wrong with AJ. A lot of people have been making excuses, but I spoke to you on the train earlier. You just believe he got beat by the better man on the night?
Listen, there was something not quite right with him as he was going into the ring. You don't know what's happened before camps, but he's not. He's always lacked defence, Anthony. And I believe since the Klitschko knockdown, he's gone very gun shy. Doesn't throw his shots, doesn't let them go, and he leans back as he throws his shots. So someone who's a fast mover and moves their head as much as someone like Andy Ruiz does with fast hands, he's going to get caught at some point, and that's what happened. Rumour mills and excuses and all the rest of it. The only one who hasn't made an excuse is Anthony, and you've got to sort of tip your hat for him for that. But it is what it is. He got beat.
From a Tyson,
you can't. Boxing's it's one of the biggest conspiracy theories sometimes going. And 9 times out of 10, there's nothing to it more than got clipped. When a guy gets clipped and he can't recover, then he'll get clipped again and he'll get beat. And that's what happened.
From a Tyson Fury perspective, you guys must be a little bit disappointed though, because the value of that fight, Fury has gone down a lot.
We'd love to have watched Tyson do that, and I firmly believe he would have done. Absolutely firmly believe he would have done, and he would have boxed, just danced, the gone rings round Anthony on that night, and any night I believe. I really do. I'm just, of course, I'm disappointed that Tyson won't be the first one to do it, but who knows down the line.
If he goes, it looks like he's taking that rematch. If he goes and loses to Ruiz again, is that Fury Joshua fight completely dead?
Let's see if they get the rematch done first. Let's see if they get it done.
In terms of,
let's see if they get it done.
Well, let's say it does happen and he loses again. Do you think that Fury Joshua fight's completely dead?
No, of course it's not dead, because then you've got Anthony. If Anthony beats Andy Ruiz in a rematch, then you call it a blip, wouldn't you? If he gets done twice, then he's in no man's land.
Okay. Just last.
A blip's a blip. You can get over a blip.
True.
You can get over a blip, and there's been many good fighters that have got beat by guys who many consider they don't, shouldn't have got beaten.
Well, Lennox Lewis said it twice, didn't he?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Klitschko got
beat
by the late Corey Sanders, and you know, but you know, they get up and recover, and you know, they dust themselves off and they adapt, and you know, that's what Anthony's got to do. And for British boxing, I hope he does it. For the fight with Tyson Fury, I hope he does it, because it's huge, absolutely huge.
Absolutely. Just the last one, Francis. Yard Kovalev, what's going on?
Purse bid.
Purse bids tomorrow, and then we'll have some sort of announcement, I'm guessing, tomorrow night.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay. All right. Francis, roll on Saturday night.
Absolutely, mate.
Appreciate
Thanks for coming
your
up.
time.
Top man.
No problem.
Cheers.
Top man.
Cheers.
William Hill sponsors IFL TV.
I'm the man to beat Daniel Dubois. We're going to sleep.